been in communication about today. I'm going to actually have my office reach out to her right now.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So in addition, we're missing Miss Maria Garza. Miss Garza is the attorney for the respondent, Father Jason Perez. I think, Virginia, you've already sent out, I can see a reminder notice to her so that she would be joining us shortly. But Mr. Perez does not appear to be on the call. And we do have Miss Jaylene Perez. We have our placement present as well. So we are going to go ahead and I'll give you a minute, Mr. Dykes, to try to get your client on the call, and I will address Ms. Fisher. It appears that Ms. Rodriguez has retained counsel, and in this case, then I would think it would be appropriate to dismiss you from your appointment at this time.
Yes, Your Honor, I was notified about this by my client yesterday and by the department, and so I just was appearing to make certain that her new attorneys appeared.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that, and I will thank you for your work on the case and dismiss you at this time.
Okay, thank you, Your
So
Honor.
you're free to go. Thank you. You may be excused. And while Mr. Dykes, you're working to get Ms. Rodriguez on the call, I also neglected to mention that both Ms. Francie Gash and Ms. Connie Lopez are both here with CASA of South Texas. Thank you for being here, and I'm sorry I failed to mention that for the record. Okay, so let me ask Mr. Dykes if you've been successful getting a hold of her.
Your Honor, I just left a voicemail and I've asked my paralegal to follow up. And
Okay.
But she was aware of today, and I was under the impression that she would be here.
Okay. Well, hopefully she'll join. I will keep my eye out on the waiting room if anybody enters, but we'll go ahead and get started so that at least at the very least you can get up to date on where we are in the case, and all parties can get an update on where we are. So
thank you. So Ms. Salazar, did you have any contact with Megan Rodriguez prior to today's hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
What was the nature of that contact?
We were in contact yesterday. She had informed me that she had retained an attorney and she requested the Zoom link for the hearing today.
Did you send her the link?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you know of any reason why she is not here today? Car accident, sudden illness, anything of an unexpected nature?
No, ma'am.
Has she contacted you after that request for the link?
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Tate for Mr. Harris, who should be present in Zoom.
Mr. Harris, are you driving?
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually. So just give me 1 second.
Okay. So maybe I don't understand something. This is a driving while license suspended,
That is correct, Your Honor.
and he was just driving, and he didn't have a license.
Is with the charges, Your Honor, yes.
No, I'm looking at his
Yes.
record. He doesn't have a license. He's suspended and he's just driving.
That is correct, Your Honor.
To indicate anything to you why she would not be here today?
We have not spoken since.
All right. Now, let's talk about Ms. Rodriguez. Is she participating in her services?
She's just begun participating in her services.
All right, let's talk about what she was supposed to do and her participation or lack thereof up until the point of this hearing, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind. Ms. Rodriguez was scheduled to required to do a psychological. The referrals were made timely. Ms. Rodriguez was for her psychological, she no-showed 2 of her appointments. Well, one of her appointments, she no-showed. The other appointment, she did not make herself readily available for that appointment. with optimal counseling, they inform mindful innovations, pardon me. They informed me that due to Mrs. Rodriguez's lack of interest in that psychological, they were going to be recommending 4 therapy sessions prior to. Ms. Rodriguez did begin engaging with her psychological on 2/10 as scheduled. Psychological was to be performed on March the 3rd. I have not heard back whether that was completed or not with Mindful Innovations.
Do we know if she did show up on March 3rd?
I'm not certain, and she showed up.
You indicated in your report that she has informed you that she has a scheduled appointment on March 3rd. And that she had also contacted you to tell you that she was scheduling an appointment, right?
That's correct.
But does she typically let you know she's been to the appointment, or? I know
she
today is only the 10th, I'm sorry.
Yeah, she typically lets me know. She did not, and I did reach out to Mindful Innovations requesting an update. I just haven't received it yet.
Okay. All right. Please continue.
Yes, thank you. Regarding individual therapy, that was also another required service. Ms. Rodriguez was unsuccessfully discharged from AB counseling. Ms. Rodriguez did request that I get another therapist because they could not meet eye to eye. Although AB counseling reported that Ms. Rodriguez was preoccupied when they tried to have therapy with her. She was putting on her makeup and then had indicated that she wasn't able to speak. They reminded Ms. Rodriguez that the appointment had been pre-scheduled. They discharged her unsuccessfully from that. I then informed Ms. Rodriguez of this. She will continue with therapy with Mindful Innovations as they requested before they conduct the psychological.
Okay, I just need to clarify. Was she not connected on virtual therapy while she was putting on the makeup, or did she actually have an in-person session and was not connecting and putting on the makeup? I didn't understand that.
Oh, pardon me. It was a virtual session and she was putting on makeup during the session.
I see. And she was, to your knowledge, asked not to do that?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
That's okay. Ms. Rodriguez, regarding parenting classes, Ms. Rodriguez was requested to conduct parenting classes as well. Ms. Rodriguez began engagement with the San Antonio Fatherhood Campaign. She began these classes. She started her first class. Her first appointment was 12:15. She did engage in that class. Ms. Rodriguez no-showed the classes thereafter. She was unsuccessfully discharged from parenting class with San Antonio Foundation. They would reinstate her upon Ms. Rodriguez making contact with them. Ms. Rodriguez did make contact with the Fatherhood Campaign on 2/14, where she began her services. Ms. Rodriguez has engaged in, she's completed 3 thus far. As of 2/14, she has completed 3 of her classes. She has missed 1.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Domestic violence. She was also ordered to engage in domestic violence. Ms. Rodriguez was going to engage through the San Antonio Fatherhood Campaign for Domestic Violence. She attended her first class on 12/19. She no-showed 3 classes thereafter. She was discharged from the San Antonio Fatherhood Campaign on January the 12th. I informed her via email, via text message, that she needed to make contact with them in order to get re-engaged. Ms. Rodriguez did make contact on 2/8 for domestic violence. She has completed, as of 2/8, she has completed 4 of her classes.
Okay.
Ms. Rodriguez also has parent-child visits. There have been a total of 28 visits thus far from August to March the 8th. Ms. Rodriguez has attended Ms. Rodriguez has missed 11 of the 28. Regarding the drug tests that we've requested Ms. Rodriguez to adhere to, we have requested a total of 9 drug tests. Ms. Rodriguez has no-showed 6 of the drug tests. One of the drug tests, she did show up. She did not have enough urine. She was asked to stay, she left, and she refused the hair follicle. We have been, we've assisted. She had mentioned that she needed transportation assistance. We attempted to transport Ms. Rodriguez to these here, to the drug test to no avail. Most recently, Ms. Rodriguez tested positive for methamphetamine at the drug test that we requested on March the 1st.
Okay. And when you said something about the transportation, can you elaborate on that a little bit, please?
Yes, I'm happy to. Ms. Rodriguez, during our meeting on 210, and before that, she's requested transportation. We've offered transportation en route on 2 separate occasions en route to her home to pick her up. She's canceled the transportation.
Okay.
I believe that is regarding her services, that's all.
Okay. Now, have you verified whether or not Ms. Rodriguez has obtained a safe, stable, or appropriate home for this child?
Ms. Rodriguez continues to live in the same home.
And is that in the home where the children were removed from her parents?
Yes.
Okay. You indicated that there's a question about her employment. Can you be more specific?
Yeah, Ms. Rodriguez informed us on 210 that, and she's mentioned before that she is self-employed, that I believe she does tattoos and she does stringing on the eyebrows. I think that's what you might call it. When we met with Ms. Rodriguez on 210, she did inform me and the cost representative that for January, she did not earn any wages. However, when I asked to confirm prior employment income, she disclosed large amounts of deposits, 500, 250, and so on in January. We asked Ms. Rodriguez, where did she get that money from? Because she had previously informed us that she had not earned any income. So I asked Ms. Rodriguez to submit any type of pay stubs, W-2, self-reporting, anything to demonstrate that the earnings she's obtained are from a legal source.
Was she able to do so?
She has not yet.
Okay. Was one of the requirements that reunification was that Ms. Rodriguez be able to provide a safe, stable, and appropriate home for the child?
Yes.
And did you indicate that she has not been able to do so?
She has not been able to do so.
And is she in compliance with her services?
She is not.
At this time, would it be safe to reunite the child with Ms. Pettis?
No.
And why not?
It would not be safe to return Maliana to the home because there continues to be ongoing concern for domestic violence between Jason Pettis and Megan Rodriguez. Megan Rodriguez was stabbed in the abdomen by Jason Pettis when an argument escalated. Returning Maliana to her home would put her in danger to her physical safety and emotional welfare. Ms. Rodriguez continues to be in a relationship with Jason Pettis. Ms. Rodriguez has also graduated from synthetic marijuana to methamphetamines. Returning Maliana to this home would put her in danger to her physical safety and her emotional welfare. Jason Pettis would not be safe to return the child to Jason Pettis. Jason Pettis has a drug history. Jason Pettis is homeless and Jason Pettis is violent. Returning Maliana to this home would put her in danger to her physical safety and her emotional welfare.
Okay, and is it correct to say that Ms. Rodriguez has not completed services that would address these issues?
That's correct.
And you did mention Mr. Pettis. Can you tell us what efforts, well, first of all, have you been in contact with him?
I have not met Mr. Pettis since I've been assigned to this case, October the 5th of 2022.
Have you reached out to him?
He doesn't have a phone number. I have made contact with collaterals. I have made contact with family members. I have called the Dilley police, the Pearsall. I have been to his home. I go to his last known address every month to no avail.
Is he in compliance with his plan of service?
He is not.
What is the major concern with Mr. Pettis?
The major concern with Mr. Pettis is that he's violent. He has a history of drugs, but he's violent.
Okay. And is there any concern that Megan Rodriguez continues to be in a relationship with him?
Yes,
And you indicated that you believe that would be a danger to her and to any child if a child were returned to her care.
that's correct. Miss Rodriguez could not protect herself. She would not be able to protect her child. That would, it would be putting Maliana in physical danger.
Okay, let's talk about the child. Where is she now?
Maliana is placed with her older sister and her common law wife.
All right, and would the caregiver be here today on Zoom?
She is.
And to your knowledge, as long as you've had the case, has she attended hearings and kept abreast of what is going on in the case?
Yes, and she transports the child to all her parent-child visits, and they transport the child to Corpus Christi when we have sibling visits.
All right, have you been to the home?
I have.
Can you describe what the home is like where the child is placed?
Right, it's a very pretty one-bedroom home, updated home. There's plenty of space for the child, for her personal belongings, for her toys. It's a very spacious place.
All right, and is it a safe, stable, and appropriate environment for this baby?
Yes, it is.
Is she meeting, I think your report said she's meeting all her developmental milestones.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Are there any issues the court needs to know about?
No, Maliana is safe and happy and bonded to her caregiver.
All right. Have you observed the way that she interacts with the caregiver, Miss Pettis?
Yes.
And what is that like?
She's bonded to her. For some reason, she hasn't. She's afraid of me. So when she sees me, she will, go directly to Jaylene or Giselle. She'll ask for hugs. They understand her cues. She eats everything. Giselle cooks very well. So they have helped. I've been there for dinner when they've been preparing dinner. And yeah, the baby is happy. She eats everything. It's a very happy, stable, loving, supportive home.
And what is the permanency goal for the child?
Relative adoption.
And has the caregiver indicated that she is willing to do this?
Yes, she has.
Okay. Is the department asking that the child remain in placement
Yes,
and that the department continue as the temporary managing conservator of this child?
that's correct.
And would it be in the child's best interest to do those things?
Yes.
Thank you. Pass the witness.
All right. Let me just note for the record that Miss Megan Rodriguez appears to have joined the hearing. Miss Rodriguez, I'd like to instruct you to start your video and to have it placed so that we can see you clearly. So I'm going to ask that at this time. So not your ceiling, but your face. And so if you can adjust that, please. And if you can do a little more down so that we can see your full face. Okay, thank you. All right, so
Your
Mr.
Honor, can I
Dykes, do
I
you have,
apologize. Can I note for the record that this hearing started at 9 and mom chose to join at about 9:24?
yes, she just joined and she is with us. Ms. Garza also joined right after we began the initial testimony. So Ms. Garza has been here from the beginning. We just, I didn't get a chance to note that for the record. So Mr. Dykes, do you have questions for Ms. Salazar?
Yes, Your Honor, I do. Ms. Salazar, you mentioned that you were unaware whether or not mom had completed a psychological on March 3rd. Is that correct?
Yes, I have not received the psychological back, nor have I received confirmation from Mindful Innovations that it's been completed.
Do you have access to a copy of the family plan evaluation dated March 7th, 2023?
I don't have it in front of me, but I developed it.
Okay, so you formed this, you wrote this document?
The family plan of service, yes, sir.
Okay. I'd like to represent to you and represent to the court that on page 8 of family plan evaluation, there's a note here that states evaluation of progress. It does state here, Ms. Rodriguez completed her psychological on 3/3/2023. Was so is that an indication that she had completed it, or that was an error, or what is?
Yes, thank you for bringing that to my attention. That is an error. That was the scheduled appointment. I wrote the family plan of service and prior to that. So yes, my apologies.
Okay, so this statement, Ms. Rodriguez completed her psychological on 3/3/2023. That's not accurate.
That's not accurate. That's correct.
Okay. I want to ask you a little bit about your concerns for ongoing domestic violence between my client and Mr. Perez.
Yes,
You stated that they are still in a relationship. Is that right?
that's correct.
Sorry, hold on just a second. And where is that coming from? Where did
Okay.
you?
Okay, Mr. Perez has used Miss Rodriguez's cell phone to make contact with family members. Most recently, at the parent-child visit on March the 7th, Mr. Perez was at Children Matters. Miss Rodriguez has her parent-child visit at Children Matters. Mr. Rodriguez was there across the street waiting for Miss Perez to return from that parent-child visit.
Okay, so you're saying that Mr. Perez has used Mrs. Rodriguez's cell phone recently? When was that?
Give me one moment. It was on 210. It was on 210. Yes, he texted his mother from her cell phone probably after our visit, or at some time after our visit with Ms. Rodriguez on 210.
Okay, and you said that was during a scheduled visitation by Miss Rodriguez?
Well, the visitation was on March the 7th, this Wednesday. So, yes, I'm sorry. So the text message was used by Megan's phone from Mr. Perez to his mother on February the 10th, sometime after my visit with Ms. Rodriguez. That was February the 10th. March the 7th, this Wednesday, Jason Perez was waiting for Ms. Rodriguez by her truck across the street from Children Matters while she was visiting with Maliana.
So you saw Mr. Perez there?
I did not.
So okay, so who informed you that Mr. Perez was there?
He was identified by his daughter.
By his daughter. Okay, so
Janie
his
Perez.
daughter told you.
His adult daughter, who was caring for Maliana, was present and identified him, was concerned, and she let me know.
Okay. I'd like to ask you a little bit about Miss Rodriguez's living situation. You mentioned that she's in the same home that the kids were removed from. She's living with her parents. That's correct?
That's correct.
And that you stated that would not be a safe, stable environment for Maliana to return to, right?
That's correct.
And the concern there is that there would be ongoing domestic violence. But you also mentioned that Mr. Perez is homeless right now. Is that correct?
Correct.
So to your knowledge, he's not living in the home with Miss Rodriguez?
I have no direct information that he resides in that home.
Okay, but as far as you're aware, I mean, you mentioned that he's homeless, so he's not living there, right?
Right. I don't know if he is living there. If he stays there, I don't know. It's probable.
Okay. With regards to a hair follicle test, there was a hair follicle test done in this case. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And what were the results of Miss Rodriguez's hair follicle exam?
She tested positive for methamphetamine.
Has she been scheduled to do a follow-up hair follicle to determine whether or not levels are increasing or decreasing or staying the same?
We have not yet. We just received the results on a 3/7.
Okay. Is it the department's intention to schedule a follow-up to make that determination?
We do random drug tests. Yes, sir.
Okay, but just to clarify, is it your determination, or rather, is it the department's intention to, at some point, randomly schedule her for another hair follicle exam to determine whether or not levels are dropping?
Yes,
Okay. Now, you also talked about Ms. Rodriguez's employment potentially being an issue. Is that correct?
that's correct.
And what do you need from my client to be able to establish that this employment is stable?
Ms. Rodriguez, as I informed her, she can provide us with tax return, a 1099, when she files her taxes, she could provide that information that would suffice.
Okay. And what do you have any concerns about Ms. Rodriguez's parents? They're the ones who are living in the home with her right now, correct?
That's correct.
Do you have any issues with them?
I have not met her parents.
Okay, so she's residing with those two individuals, her parents, and you haven't talked to them at all?
I haven't met them, no.
Okay. And I'd like to get your honest opinion here. Do you feel that Ms. Rodriguez has made any progress from when this case began to now? I mean, it sounds like she has made some services, right?
Ms. Rodriguez has, yes, sir. Ms. Rodriguez has completed some of her services, domestic violence and parenting classes. Those are great classes that a parent can attend. But with Ms. Rodriguez continuing a relationship with Jason Perez, despite those domestic violence classes and despite the fact that she was stabbed by him and continues to be in a relationship with Jason Perez, she has not learned from the classes that she's taking. So I can't say that that's successful, despite the fact that she's present.
If that relationship was done, would that resolve that issue for the department?
It would resolve the issue.
Okay. Do you believe that Ms. Rodriguez is capable of getting to the point in which the department would recommend that her child be returned to her?
Ms. Rodriguez should be following her service plan. Ms. Rodriguez should not be doing drugs. She should be staying away from violent people, engaging in her services and learning from those services. But due to repeated failure of her services and not learning from her classes, we've recommended termination and adoption by relative.
But do you feel that you've spoken with Ms. Rodriguez, correct?
That's correct.
Has she expressed an interest in getting her child back?
Ms. Rodriguez has expressed interest in getting her child back.
Do you believe that she can become compliant with her service plan?
Not as of date.
Okay. I don't believe I have any other questions for this witness, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Dykes. Ms. Garza, any questions for Ms. Salazar?
Yes, Your Honor. Now, with regards to Mr. Jason Bettis, you indicated you've not had any contact with him since you've been appointed to this case. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. From your notes or your correspondence with the previous caseworkers, has there been any contact with Mr. Bettis regarding this case?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So as far as you know, you have no knowledge as to whether Mr. Bettis was interested in or wishing to work services in order to be reunified with his daughter?
I have no knowledge.
Okay. So at this time, have there been any services or any kind of engagement or contact by Mr. Bettis with the department?
Mr. Pettis is not interested in this case or in his child.
Okay, and you say he's not interested in this case or his child. Why do you say that?
Because Mr. Pettis is aware of this case and I've made contact with his family members. He is aware of this case. I've sent him emails as well. I've sent him his family plan of service and he has just not contacted me or shown any interest in being a part of this case or reunifying with his child.
Okay, and you indicate that you've sent him a service plan. Where did you send that to?
His email?
Okay, did you ever receive any confirmation that he actually received that?
I did not.
So as far as you know, you don't know if he actually has a copy of the service plan or if he has actual knowledge of this setting today.
That's correct.
And how often would you say well, let me ask you this. When was the last time you tried to communicate with Mr. Bettis?
The last time I went to his home was on February the 10th.
Okay. Since February 10th, have you made any other attempts to try to communicate with Mr. Bettis?
Other than emails, no, ma'am.
You indicated other than emails, how many emails have you sent since February 10th?
Since February the 10th, I probably sent him 2 emails, one with his family plan of service, and the other email was to remind him of this case with the Zoom link.
Okay, and by this case, you mean today's setting?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and how did you get a copy of, how did you get this email?
I believe I received it from the previous worker.
So as far as you know, you don't even know or can't verify whether this is actually his email. That'd be correct?
It's his first and last name, but that's correct.
And prior to February 10th, when did you attempt to reach out to him?
I don't have the date in January, but we make monthly contact with our parents.
And these monthly contacts, do they all involve a visit to the last known residence and phone calls to the last phone number?
That's correct. And then collaterals, contact with his mother, contact with his oldest daughter, Jaylene. Yes.
Okay. And you indicated that he had knowledge of this case. Do you have verification of that?
Yes, the removing affidavit states that he was in contact through the investigator and he was drug tested when the incident occurred. So yes, he was made aware.
Okay. And as far as these collaterals, did you ever receive any confirmation that he actually received any information?
No.
So it's possible that he may not know about today's setting. Would that be correct?
Not likely.
I mean, the question is, it's possible whether.
It's possible.
Okay. Have you communicated with the mother as far as how to locate Mr. Bettis?
Yes.
Okay. Has the mother provided you with any information?
The mother has indicated that he at times makes contact with his uncle.
And have you reached out to that uncle to try to locate him?
I have not contacted the uncle.
Now, I believe you
have
indicated that.
given Ms. Pettis, his mother, my number to provide to the uncle as well, given them my business card so that Mr. Pettis, when and if he shows up, can make contact with me.
Okay, but you still don't have any confirmation as to whether he's received this information. Would that be correct?
I do not.
Okay. At the family group conference for this family service, for this plan of service, do you have any notes in your case file indicating whether Mr. Bettis was present?
Mr. Pettis, he was not present. I have not met Mr. Pettis.
Okay. Were you aware if he was present at the status hearing?
I believe, I am not certain. I don't want to misspeak.
So as far as you know, you can't confirm whether he was part of the process for developing the service plan and whether he has actual knowledge of the services that were required by the department. Would that be correct?
Yes.
Has Ms. Rodriguez by any chance indicated to you if there were any barriers for our Mr. Bettis in engaging in any services or contacting the department?
Ms. Rodriguez, when we spoke on the 10th, informed myself and CASA that she had not been in contact with Mr. Rodriguez since November the 22nd of 2022. However, if Mr. Pettis went with Ms. Rodriguez to the parent-child visit, I would presume that he would have knowledge of this case if he escorted Ms. Pettis to the parent-child visit.
Okay, but you yourself can't verify that that happened, correct?
I personally cannot. No, ma'am. I was not there.
And nobody else from the department could verify that or confirm that that happened either, correct?
That's correct.
Now, you indicate that Mr. Bettis is homeless. How did you get that information?
From the collaterals from his mother and from his daughter. When I speak to them several times a month, just kind of trying to get any updates on Mr. Pettis, they inform me that he is homeless.
Now, the last known address that you were provided for Mr. Bettis, what was the result of those visits?
There was no one. There's never anyone that answers the door.
Okay, does the home or residence appear to be lived in?
Yes.
Did you leave note cards or send any correspondence to that address?
Yes. Note cards.
Note cards, okay. Like leaving them on the door?
Yes. And there's mail. There was mail. There's always mail in the mailbox as well. The mailbox is open, so you can see that there's mail that's put in there.
Okay, just to be clear, I think you indicated the last time that you visited that residence was February 10th, correct?
That's correct.
Have you seen any life in that home?
Other than mail in the mailbox, there's curtains on the windows, but other than that, no one's answered the door.
Thank you. No further questions.
All right, before we move on to our next witness, this is my second and final instruction, Ms. Rodriguez. If you're going to participate in these Zoom hearings, you need to keep your phone in one spot. You don't need to be texting or doing anything else, and we need to see your whole face. So right now, that's sufficient, but do not move the phone. I don't want to see your ceiling, okay? Just be still while we continue this hearing. Ms. Pearsall, do you have questions for Ms. Salazar?
I do, Your Honor. Thank you. Does Milena have a sister?
She does.
And have both of these parental rights been terminated to that sister?
Yes.
Does the current placement allow for a ton of contact with this child and her sister?
They have a ton of contact. They go to daycare together.
They also spend time at home together, correct?
They go to the
In
zoo
both homes, I should
together.
say.
They go to parades together. Yes, they do a lot of fun things together.
Okay. And has Ms. Rodriguez been consistently lying about the status of her relationship with Mr. Perez for over a year now?
Yes.
And does it seem unrealistic to say that Mr. Perez would drive the mother to her CPS visit, would stand outside the entire time of the visit, but yet has no knowledge of the CPS case?
That's correct.
Does that seem impossible?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt, but I don't understand why your screen keeps moving, Ms. Rodriguez. I've been very clear in my instruction. It is very distracting to have that move constantly. There's no reason why a phone can't be situated and stable. Place it in front of you and don't move it. This is the last time I'm going to give this instruction. If you move it again, I'm going to exit you from the hearing. I can't take it. Thank you. Ms. Pearsall, I'm sorry to have interrupted. You may continue.
No problem, Judge. What is the permanency plan in the case?
Relative adoption.
Okay, which means it's termination.
Termination of the parental rights, relative adoption by relative. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any doubt that that is in the child's best interest?
That is absolutely in the child's best interest.
And is the department ready to proceed to trial as scheduled?
Yes.
No other questions?
All right. Any additional questions from any party for Ms. Salazar?
Just very briefly, Your Honor.
Ms. Bradley?
Ms. Salazar, do your records reflect that both Megan Rodriguez and Jason Perez signed waivers of service back on July 14th, 2022?
Yes.
Thank you. Pass the witness.
All right. Any other witnesses, Ms. Bradley?
None, Your Honor.
Mr. Dykes, any witnesses from you?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to call my client, Ms. Rodriguez.
Ms. Rodriguez, can you unmute yourself? And then please raise your right hand where I can see it. Do you swear, and please raise it. Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Dykes, you may proceed.
Good morning, Ms. Rodriguez. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Doing all right. I just wanted to ask you a couple of quick questions to kind of clear up some of the statements that the caseworker in this matter had made. So you had a psychological scheduled for March 3rd, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And did you complete it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you spoken with the caseworker since completing that psychological?
I believe so.
Okay. Did you inform her that you'd completed that psychological? Yes or no?
Yes, through text message. Yes.
Okay. Would you clarify for the court your relationship status with Mr. Perez?
I am not in an ongoing or relationship with Mr. Perez. Just last month, my caseworker was indicating from her intel that I was in a relationship with a another person. Now this month I'm an ongoing, and I still have communication with Mr. Perez.
Okay, just to clarify, so when did the relationship with Mr. Perez end?
I left him back in October of 2022
And why did the relationship end?
because we were going through some domestic violence, and we had just previously picked up this case with our new baby, and just things weren't working out and nothing was changing. So I decided to leave. And
So
I've
you
been gone ever since.
Okay, so you ended the relationship with Mr. Perez because of the ongoing domestic violence and because of your child and your child's best interest. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And are you unwilling to work services to get your child back?
No, I am currently doing my parenting classes right now and my domestic violence classes.
Okay. And if you need to take an additional drug test, another hair follicle, are you willing to do that?
Yes, sir. Hair follicle, UA. The court had ordered last time we were in court. The judge had ordered a nail sample that has yet to be done. I was willing to do a nail sample. I'm still waiting on that nail sample. It hasn't been done. So I'm willing to do hair follicle, UA, nail sample, whatever is required of me.
And why are you willing to work these services?
Because I want my baby back. I'm not giving up. I don't want to give up. I mean, I lost my other 5 kids to these people in this courtroom last year. I'm willing to keep going and fighting for this baby. I'm not willing to just give up that easily to them. I want my baby.
So I just want to clarify a couple of other things. So one of the things that Ms. Salazar mentioned as evidence of your alleged relationship with Mr. Perez was that he used your cell phone at one point. Is that accurate? Did that happen?
He is my one time he did see me at the store from where he lives. He lives across the store. He did see me at the store. He did ask to use the phone to call his mother, and that was it.
Why did you allow him to use your phone?
I mean, I just felt sorry for him. He was wanting to call his mom to get some money to get something to eat. I mean, he told me, he's like, hey, can I use your phone so I can call my mom so I can send her a text message so I can get something to eat? He called and called and called and called. She never answered. So he shot her a text message through my phone. So, I mean, I just felt sorry because he was like, can I call my mom? I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. And he was at the store that's across the street.
Yes, ma'am. Now, with regards to your employment, would you be willing to provide tax documents to the court to just establish that you are self-employed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And will you coordinate with my office after this to make sure that we can get those documents?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there anything else that you'd like the court to hear today, just with regards to your willingness to work services or your interest in getting your child back with you?
I mean, I'm willing to work my services. My parent-child visits, they go really well. The Children's Matter, they always do reports. They have reports on how the parent-child visits
I'm
go
going to object to
as
hearsay.
well.
All right, I'll sustain.
Your Honor, I have no further questions for this witness at this time. Thank you very much, Ms. Rodriguez.
All right,
Yes,
does
sir.
anyone else have questions for Ms. Rodriguez?
No.
Yes, Judge.
All right, Ms. Pearsall.
Ms. Rodriguez, when was the last time you drank alcohol?
I want to say back in December, probably Christmas, when we had our Christmas party here at my house.
Isn't it true that you were also drinking as recently as January of this year?
No.
And you said there was ongoing domestic violence. Well, you finished the relationship in October of 2022 due to ongoing domestic violence. What was the ongoing domestic violence?
Domestic violence.
Tell us what that was.
No, I ended the relationship for the previous case that I had in June, and nothing was gonna change. I ended the relationship. There's just
Mr. Rodriguez, that wasn't my question. My question was, what was the domestic violence?
There was no domestic violence. I ended the relationship from the previous domestic violence in June.
Okay, so there was no domestic violence. You're now changing your answer? Mr. Rodriguez, which one is it?
There was domestic violence. That's the whole reason why this case started. Domestic violence in June. I was still in a relationship with this Mr. Perez all the way up until October. I ended the relationship in October because nothing was going to change. I felt
Okay,
like
what was
nothing
the
was going to
domestic-
change, nothing was going to be done or anything. So I ended up I wanted to just get up and walk away from the relationship, whether there
Mr.
was
Rodriguez, I
ongoing
understand.
domestic violence or not. I just wanted to walk away from it.
Okay, let me try my question for the third time. When there was a domestic violence, at whatever time period, what was the domestic violence? That's my question.
He stabbed me. He stabbed me.
Okay. Outside of that incident, what else was a domestic violence?
A physical abuse.
Okay, can you explain that specifically? What did he do?
I really don't want to get into all that detail, but it's physical abuse.
Yana, I would ask for an instruction for the witness to answer my
Miss,
question.
Ms. Rodriguez, you don't get to determine whether or not a question is worth answering. Your attorney can object and he can address the court that way. Otherwise, you answer the question that's posed to
Okay.
you. All right, so can you please answer the question? And once again, I don't want to see your ceiling. You need to keep your phone
rejected
steady.
a phone call. Calm down. I was rejected a phone
All right,
call. That's
that
all I
I'm
was
not
doing.
I'm going to, at this time, end your participation in this hearing. You don't speak to the judge that way. I'm sorry. So we're gonna stop the questioning. And Ms. Rodriguez is leaving the hearing. All right. Anything else? At this time, Mr. Dykes, I'm sorry, I cannot. In the past, we've had to have in-person hearings because your client does not follow the instructions of the court. She's been disrespectful to me previously in prior hearings, and I have little tolerance for her conduct in Zoom proceedings. So I generally do this as a courtesy now for the parties, but I think in the future, this is one case that needs to be in person in the courthouse. So our next setting will be in person. Mr. Dykes, did you have any other witnesses you wish to call?
No, Your Honor, not at this time.
All right. Anyone else have witnesses to call? All right. I mean, as a matter of record at this point, I swore in Miss Jaylene Perez earlier, and I would personally, for my benefit in hearing the testimony today, just like to hear from you and ask you directly if you're able to unmute yourself, Miss Perez. I believe it was indicated earlier that you were the individual that believes you saw your father waiting outside Children Matter at one of the scheduled parent-child visits for Miss Rodriguez, and that they came or left together. Can you provide your recollection from that day to clear the record?
So when we arrived, I know what her sorry. I saw her at Jason Perez there.
I can't understand what she's saying.
Is it possible to get the phone a little closer? Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, that's better.
That's better? Okay. Okay, so when we arrived, of course, he was in the truck, but there was no way to get proof, I guess. So when we left, it was a 2-hour visit. On our way back, he was standing outside the vehicle, so I was able to capture a picture for Miss Salazar to see.
All right, and what date was that?
That was March the 8th.
So just 2 days ago?
On Wednesday. Is that the 8th?
All right.
Yes.
So that's after October of 2022, is it not?
Sorry, can't really hear you.
Yeah, that's all right. I think I can answer that question myself. Thank you, Ms. Perez.
You're welcome.
Any Anything else from any party before I turn to Ms. Pearsall and Ms. Gash for their reports? All right, Ms. Pearsall, what is your report on behalf of the child? Milena.
Yana Malane is doing very well. She is in great hands. She gets lots of love, lots of attention. She spends lots and lots of time with her sister. I'm quite frankly not sure. I believe the sister still lives at grandma's house. I think she might be living with Milena. And it's a wonderful home. There's lots of support, lots of love, lots of bonding for the sister, for the sisters between them. She is, environment where they kind of really push learning new things, letters, numbers, colors, things, she's probably a little too young to learn, but, that they're working on. I have zero concerns. It's a wonderful home. It's very protective. It's a great place.
Thank you, Ms. Pearsall. Ms. Gash, anything you would like to add?
Yes, I did go with Adela when we went down to do the sibling visit in let's see, February the 9th, and it was very, very good. Everything went well. I had a nice visit with Jaylene, the older sister. Had a nice visit with her, and the baby is adorable. She is the cutest thing ever. And then when we came back, Adela asked me if I would go. She needed to have a visit with the mother, and she asked me if I would go with her, and I said, sure, yeah, we'll do that. So on our way back, we went to Dilley and met with the mother, and it was kind of round and around. She just kept saying she didn't want to talk about the past. She only wanted to get into the future. But it was really we were there probably an hour, maybe an hour and a half, I don't know. And it was very strange. The mother had missed a lot of visits, as Adela said. She's missed a lot of visits. She's missed drug tests, and she would always blame it on CPS or Belong, and that they didn't take her, which was really strange because before every one of her drug tests, Adela has said, I will take you. I'll come and get you and take. No, I have a ride. And then, well, I didn't have a ride the day of the thing, the testing, she didn't, or whatever. So the conversation was really strange. And she got upset because Adela was trying to tell her, well, all of these services that you needed to do, and you just didn't do it. Well, she just had an excuse for everything, why we didn't do it. Well, I guess the most unusual thing was that everything Adela asked her, she said, I just forgot. I forgot to go to visit the kids. I forgot to go have the drug test. I forgot to go to counseling. And so, I mean, every specific area that Adela asked her, well, why did you not do this? Well, I forgot it. So it just went on and on and on. So I am 100% in agreement with Alana and the department that this would not be a good placement for the child. She's in a loving home. Her older sister and her partner are just really good with her, and she's a happy little girl. And I'm glad she sees her other sister quite a bit. The one, Elena in Pearsall. And I am in contact with Miss Pettis also. And I see her here in Pearsall. So, and I see them when they're together. So it's really nice. It's good that we could see them. But yes, I just don't think the mother's capable of raising this child. And I think they definitely need to terminate, and she needs to be adopted by her older sister. It's a very good home.
All right. Well, thank you, Ms.
Yes.
Gash. Thank you all. Based on the testimony the court has heard today, the court at this time is going to continue the current placement for Milena with Ms. Jaylene Perez. Court finds that continuation of that placement is in her best interest, that all of her physical and emotional and developmental needs are being met there presently, and it's in her best interest to remain there. The court at this time finds that there would be a continuing danger to the child if she were to be returned to either parent today, and that is because neither parent is in compliance with their court-ordered plans of service. The court at this time will order that Ms. Rodriguez engage in a drug and alcohol assessment through OSAR to address substance abuse treatment that's obviously needed at this time, and will be ordered to pursuant, this is already an order of the court, pursuant to the family plan of service, that she engage in any recommended drug treatment as well. The court at this time will order monthly hair tests from this point forward, and will order that our case be set for trial. It's already set on May the 19th at 9 a.m. That will be an in-person proceeding. As I indicated earlier, I don't believe Ms. Rodriguez is capable of following the basic ground rules for Zoom proceedings, and we need to have this hearing in person that day. Is there anything else that we need to address at this time?
Your Honor, I would just ask that the court, one, order not limit the tests to hair test. I think nail
Oh,
test.
yes, I'm not,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to do that. So to clarify my order, the department is already ordered to conduct random drug testing. I want that to continue, but in addition, I want the monthly hair tests as well. And Ms. Rodriguez is ordered not to alter or cut her hair until this case is resolved, so that we can get accurate results going forward as well with those hair tests. All right, is there anything else we need to address at this time? If not, thank you all. All parties
please.
are excused.
Samantha Yeager.
And Ms. Yeager,
You're
a
the
lot
case
has kind of happened in the last month or so in this case. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so let's kind of start at the beginning and kind of let's let the court know kind of what's happened and where we're at right now.
Okay, so the last week in January, the conservatorship department was preparing to staff with the adoption program to transfer Christopher's case to the adoption unit. The adoption supervisor noticed a home study that was done on Miss Jackson's home that made reference to her husband and some rather alarming criminal history. So the two supervisors staffed, and I was advised to get additional information. One of those was the concern that he had served time in prison, according to the home study, from 2005 to 2015. But it was unknown as to what those charges were. So now that the department was aware that there was someone in or around, whether he's residing there full time or not, we had to do our due diligence and investigate further. So we submitted for a diligent search after getting with our SI team. And they made that recommendation because what they were coming up with was not what they felt was the complete picture. I did my face-to-face on January the 31st, where I identified Mr. Homer in the home, although that's not his original name that he gave. So that raised a lot of concerning flags. The children appear to be happy. They're healthy. They were healthy. They appear to be comfortable with Mr. Homer. This apparently was not something new. It was not a new situation. It was a period of time where, like I said, I assessed the safety of the children. Nobody had any marks or bruises. There didn't appear to be any drugs or firearms in the home, which was concerns based on his criminal history. And so I left and drove down the road and staffed it with my supervisor, knowing that he was not an approved person to be there, but to find out if I needed to do an immediate removal or if I could leave the child there. We went through a series of questions, staffing, the overall safety of the child and the other two children in the home appeared to be fine at that point in time. So I left. I then reached out to the child placement agency who Miss Jackson is licensed with to discuss my concern. They were very upset about Mr. Homer being in the home because they had been told by Miss Jackson that she was filing for divorce. There was no relationship. He's an out of town, over the road truck driver. Fast forward, we thought that they were removing Christopher and putting him in a respite until we could gather all the necessary information to make an educated recommendation and to come before Judge Stuckey. On February 22nd, the agency removed Christopher and placed him in a foster home, which is where he is now until we get some direction from the court.
Let's start with, when we did the background checks, was there some questions in there about Mr. Homer?
Yes.
Okay. And if he were to, he and Miss Jackson are still married as far as we understand.
Correct.
Correct. And would that prevent us from being able to move forward on an adoption?
Yes.
And with regards to this foster home, have you been out to see Christopher in the foster home?
In the current foster home?
Yes.
Yes, I have.
And do you have concerns with this foster home?
I do.
Okay, can you explain what those concerns are?
Yes, I do. Yes, I can. First, I'd like to stress that I do not have concerns for Christopher's safety. I do feel that all of his needs are being met. I feel like he is being fed and clothed and has a safe place to lay his head. I do have concerns that there are many children in the home, defined as raising as from 27, 22, 14, 16, 14, 12, I think, and a 7-year-old. Sorry, there's not a 16-year-old in the home. And then on the weekends, grandchildren come. So Christopher has gone from an environment where he is the youngest of three, his two older siblings that are 3 and 4. So you have a 2, 3, and 4-year-old, to a home where you have 7 children ranging in ages from elementary school to adulthood, plus grandchildren. So there's a lot of people in that home. It's a completely different atmosphere than what Christopher is used to.
And Ms. Jackson's home was the only home he'd been in prior to this move. Is that correct?
Correct. When he was released from St. David's shortly after being born, he went to Miss Jackson's home and he remained there until I picked him up February 22nd, and he turns 2 in April. Sorry, May. Sorry.
No, he's almost 2, and this is the big, huge, possibly traumatic change for this child.
Yes.
And what is the agency wanting to do?
The agency is not able to keep an adoption on the table due to Mr. Homer's criminal history. That's not a possibility for us to offer. If the judge were inclined to have Christopher return to Miss Jackson's home, we can offer permanent managing conservatorship, but that's about our only choice.
Miss Yeager, I'm sorry, I missed that. You could or could not
We can
offer.
offer PMC, yes, sir.
Okay. But that would be PMC with no benefits, is that right?
There are some benefits, but you're correct. For the majority of them, they do not have the same as the adoption benefits.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Hoyle.
And so those are basically the options we're looking at. And are you inclined to keep him in this foster home moving forward?
No, my supervisor and I staff that while we do feel that he's safe, we don't feel that it is in his best interest as far as a nurturing environment that can meet all of his emotional needs. And so we would be looking for a different placement.
Your Honor, I pass this witness.
Ms. Elvig.
I do. Ms. Yeager, we've staffed this as a major group, have we not, prior to removal of Christopher?
Yes, we have.
And you've had an opportunity to look at the child care records?
Yes.
Evidential record. Can you tell the court the involvement of the placement of Miss Jackson?
I can tell you, we were able to receive the time card details from the week of 11/27 of 2022 through 12/18 of 2022. So That is a daycare that the 3 siblings were originally at. For those 15 days that Christopher was in care, Mr. Homer picked up, it appeared that Mr. Homer was the drop off or pickup, and Miss Jackson's son was the opposing. So there was 4 days during those 15 that Miss Jackson uh, either dropped off, that she dropped off the children. And then there was 5 days that Mr. Homer dropped off Christopher, and then 6 days that her son did.
So is it your understanding that this Mr. Homer is actually the lead person in picking up or dropping off Christopher at
It
daycare?
is. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Did that pause or offer any concerns to you?
It does.
And had you went to the house to go visit with Miss Jackson, in which I think you had some serious concerns, which raised the issue of staffing. Can you tell the court what happened that day?
Yes. So I was scheduled for my monthly face-to-face with Miss Jackson and Christopher on the 31st of January. I had told her that I had an earlier appointment and I would let her know when I was leaving that area to give her an ETA. I sent her a text with an ETA. I believe my ETA was about 7:30 in the evening. I arrived at the home. The first thing I noticed was a Ford F-150 pickup truck that I did not recognize as belonging to Miss Jackson or to any of her sons. Later, running the due diligence, it does belong to Mr. Homer. There were lights on upstairs and some downstairs. I went to knock on the door and I noticed that the front door handle was barely hanging in the hole of the door. So this kind of caused a little concern because it was clear that there were occupants inside based on the noises that I heard. And then upstairs, a light went off and yet no one was answering the door. And what I suspected was Mr. Homer's truck outside. Based on the previous criminal history knowledge that I had of this individual, I was concerned for the safety of Miss Jackson and the children in the home. And I went back into my truck, locked myself in my truck. I reached out to Miss Jackson. I saw that she had texted me and said, "Oh, I didn't know you were coming. I thought we had rescheduled. Can we reschedule?" And I said, "No, ma'am, I'm here now. I'm right outside the home. There's several vehicles that are here. So I know someone is here. I really need to see Christopher today." And so she said, "My son will come outside." So the front door has got glass, so you can see into the home. You can definitely see into the home through the hole where the door handle was too. So I could tell that there was motion in there. And I just normally don't have a pause in answering the door. An older gentleman, older than her 20-something-year-old son, came out and approached me. I rolled my window down. I identified myself. I asked him who he was. He overlooked that question and asked me if he needed to bring Christopher outside for me to see him. I told him no, I really needed to go into the home to see Christopher in his environment. And I asked again what was his name. He told me his name is Derek Jackson and that he is Miss Jackson's brother. I recognized him. I thought I had recognized him from some family pictures Miss Jackson had shared with me of the adoption consummation of Janice and Jonah, and also I think a Christmas picture. But again, I wasn't 100% sure who this gentleman was. It was a little odd that his pants were unzipped, and his belt was undone, and he kept it that way for the remainder of the visit. He escorted me into the home. Janice and Christopher were seated at the kitchen table in their booster seats, ready to eat. He had clearly been cooking dinner. He was comfortable in the kitchen. Appeared to be a very comfortable routine procedure for the kids. Within a couple of minutes, little Jonah came downstairs. I thought that was a little bit odd that a 4-year-old would be upstairs in the dark, like the light had been off for quite a few minutes. Just 4-year-olds usually don't like, just something that I noted with my training, didn't appear to be right. But again, the children were happy, they were healthy, he was cooking them an appropriate meal. I asked the kids a couple of questions. I spoke with them. I looked around. The home appears to be in the same condition it always is. It's fairly neat, fairly tidy. Um, so there didn't seem to be any concern. At the conclusion of my visit, I did not feel comfortable going throughout the house like I typically do. There was just a feeling that I had. And so I did ask him, I said, I need to go ahead and see your ID, please, as protocol, because I'm not aware that you've been on the approved person list. And he kind of hesitated. He took his wallet out. He went to flash his license. I had my phone. I took a picture, and it was indeed Mr. Homer. I just thanked him for his time, and he walked me out. He walked me out. It was just a little bit, again, different than what I'm used to, very close behind me. I stopped for a minute. I thought he was going to bump into me. I asked him if he had any questions. He said no. I got in my truck. He just stood there kind of staring at me, and then I left.
When you did the background check, can you share with Judge Stuckey what the background check and the incarceration reflected of his alleged crimes?
Yes, the two main concerns on the background check that we ran was aggravated assault of a family member, which I asked Miss Jackson who was the victim, and she identified herself as she was, and then aggravated kidnapping. I asked her if she was the victim, and she said yes, she was. Both of those were no billed, but still there was that in mind. He also had possession charges, and that was the reason for his 10-year tenure in prison in Louisiana was drug related.
Did you have an opportunity to ask Miss Jackson for some clarification as a result of this visit, especially whether or not Mr. Homer lived there?
I did.
And what was her response?
That he doesn't live there, that he's an over-the-road truck driver. He wasn't able to drive a couple of loads because of the weather, because it was cold, and we'd had a little bit of ice. And he was just helping her out, and that he was not supposed to be there by himself, that she had entrusted her son to be there, but her son had to run to the store to get a gallon of milk.
With what she told you, does that really balance with what you actually observed when you went to the house?
No, ma'am, it does not.
Has Miss Jackson been cooperative and truth, or do you feel that she's been cooperative or truthful to you?
I feel that she's been cooperative. I don't feel that she's been truthful. And that's the biggest concern.
Well, and given that, you let this team know, of which we then staffed and made the decision to remove Christopher. Is that correct?
Yes.
Until the judge can decide what is best for Christopher.
Yes, correct.
And is it your understanding that Miss Jackson wants him returned to her house?
Yes, it is.
You have concerns about the ongoing Mr. Homer and his issues being with the child at any time while he's there.
I do have concerns based on his history, finding out that he's been around the children for quite some time. That time frame is unknown. Would say, at this point there hasn't been any injuries, but based on his previous history and based on not being clear as does he actually reside in the home? I believe he does. His driver's license shared the same address as Miss Jackson. It is a concern based on his previous history for the well-being of the child.
Now, you actually went to the home and picked up Christopher to remove him and place him in another placement. Is that correct?
That's not correct, actually. Passion for Families, her case manager, had offered to pick him up. Normally, yes, the department does pick the children up, but she had offered to. However, at that point, Miss Jackson was not cooperative. She did not have Christopher at the home with all his belongings. She said he'd have to be picked up from daycare, that Catherine was not able to pick him up. It would have to be me. And he came with just a very, very small backpack, about the size of a small purse.
Now, you've had, Christopher's been in the court's jurisdiction or care through the department almost 2 years. Am I correct?
You're correct.
Okay, and during that time, does it appear that this has been ongoing with this Mr. Homer and this not truthfulness with respect to Miss Jackson and placement?
I would have to believe so.
But let me ask you this, because you and I've had these conversations. When you have visited the home, have you ever seen any bruises or bodily injuries on Christopher?
No, I've not.
Okay, so at least in that regard, you believe that he's been fairly safe.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else that we've talked about that you think that is important for the court to know as to the status of Christopher today?
I believe that Christopher is very bonded to Miss Jackson. I believe that Christopher is very bonded to his brother and sister. I believe the child is very confused, but I do believe that, the department has due diligence to ensure this child's safety to the best of our ability. And in light of Mr. Homer coming on the radar, I'm just not sure that that can be a guarantee.
Right. And Mr. Homer is not a recent person on the radar, is he not? I mean,
No.
in fact, you've addressed these issues with Miss Jackson in the past.
That's correct.
And your concern is whether or not long-term safety after the court goes away, in this case, whether Mr. Homer's involvement will be with Christopher at this point.
Correct.
Okay. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Go ahead, Ms. Hoyle.
Mr. Acosta, you're the CASA supervisor in this case, is that correct?
That is correct.
And you've been in on some of the conversations with regards to Christopher and what's been happening in this home. Is that correct?
Yes, I have.
And either you or Miss Whiteley have been out to the home. Is that correct?
Current foster home or past foster home?
Past foster home, Miss Jackson's home.
Correct.
And have one or both of you been out to the new foster home?
Miss Whiteley has been there twice.
Okay. Can you tell the court CASA's position with regards to this?
Yes. CASA shares the same concerns as the department. We are concerned about Mr. Homer's criminal history. We feel we have not received all of the facts in Miss Jackson's home. Christopher is doing well in his placement right now. He is safe. It's the only concern with that placement we had was the lack of a baby gate. Our biggest safety concern, one of our largest safety concerns, was that the agency felt that Miss Jackson's home was deemed unsafe enough to close. So therefore we couldn't advocate to keep Christopher in Miss Jackson's home.
Is the number of children and the lack of a baby gate, what about the bonding with Christopher? Was CASA able to kind of view any sort of emotional issues that may be with regards to Christopher in the new foster home?
Although we note that it may not be a home that Christopher should be in long term, we feel that he's safe in it right now. Regards to his siblings, we felt like he was very bonded to his siblings as well, and Miss Jackson. And
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say we would recommend sibling visits as well.
Is there anything else that we haven't covered that CASA would like us to know, like the court to know?
No, I believe that's everything.
Okay. Your Honor, I pass this witness.
Ms. Elvig,
Yeah, no questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Hoyle, any other witnesses you wish to call?
No other witnesses at this time.
Ms. Elvig, any witnesses you wish to call today?
No witnesses, Your Honor.
Okay, so I've got a couple of questions, just try to sort through a few things that I'd like to know. Ms. Yeager, approximately how long have you been on this case?
For the entirety.
Okay, so that's good. So how many times do you think that you have been in Miss Jackson's home to see Christopher? And I assume you've been there monthly, right?
Correct.
Okay, so we're looking at Let me age the case real quick.
He's-
My computer ages the case at 664 days. So we're going
Right.
on, getting fairly close to 2 years, I guess. Have you ever seen anything that led you to believe there were household and, occupants that you weren't aware of until, these recent incidents?
No, I have not. I've been in her bedroom, because initially when he was first placed with her, he slept in a pack and play because he was going through withdrawals and he was having some issues, that just needed additional nurturing. I've been in her bedroom multiple times. There was, never any appearance that there was any kind of masculine presence there at all or anywhere in her living room. She had stated to me that, uh, she had raised her boys by herself. Their dad had gone to prison, and just presented as a very independent, single woman taking care of kids.
Okay, so Miss Jackson was a licensed placement, but what is her relationship to Christopher?
So there were 3 children in the home, Jonah, Janice, and Christopher. She is the paternal aunt to Jonah. So she took in her nephew. And then Megan gave birth to a girl, a daughter, a year later. Miss Jackson did not want the siblings separated, so she agreed to take Janice. Then Megan had a third child, and again, not wanting to separate the 3, even though she's not biologically related to Janice or Christopher, she felt it was in the best interest to keep all 3 siblings together, so she agreed to take Christopher as well.
Okay, and so I know it's been, since you've been on the case since the beginning, you've had a lot of conversations with Miss Jackson, but I mean, based on your testimony, it sounded like you were fairly confident that you understood the situation between her and Mr. Homer. So has she explicitly told you in the past that they were not together and that she was either seeking a divorce or planning to seek a divorce? I'm just trying to figure out what what plans, if any, she had ever shared with the department or yourself.
Sure. So again, she presented to me as no longer in a marital relationship or any relationship when I first met her. Last year around this time, Sherry, the CASA advocate, and I were discussing the case, and she had said that she had spoken with Tracie, and Tracie had told her that she was hoping when she got her tax return back that she would have enough money to fund a divorce, which was a shock to me because I didn't know she was married. She had never made a mention, and again presented as single. So that was my first clue that there was still a marriage. When I asked Miss Jackson, she said again they're not in a relationship. He's an over-the-road truck driver. I asked her specifically what was her amount of contact with this gentleman, which I also asked recently, and she was emphatic that she may talk to him once every couple of months, briefly on the phone, but not in person because again, he works over the road as a truck driver.
Okay, and so let's go back to the home study that was performed. So the home study, that home study, you know, did pass and was positive. Is that right?
It's my understanding that that home study did bring to light the concerns with Mr. Homer's criminal history, and that the adoption was granted because there was some sort of, you'll have to consult my attorney for the verbiage, but some sort of a waiver type thing where it explicitly stated that all parental rights would be given to Miss Jackson and no parental rights whatsoever would be given to Mr. Homer.
Okay.
It was an unusual document.
But as far as the home study, there was nothing in there that led you to believe that he was a frequent visitor to the home or an occupant of the home or any of that. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And
And
that home
when
study was done in 2019.
okay, well, that was my next question. So thank you. So we're looking at obviously, quite a ways while has passed since that home study. Okay, so with those questions in mind, Ms. Hoyle, do you have any other questions of Ms. Yeager?
No, not at this time.
Okay, Ms. Elwick.
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Ms. Elvig, what is it that you are reporting and like to request of the court today for your client?
Well, a couple of things, Your Honor. Since Miss Jackson is here, she had called me late Friday night. She might want to be heard. The concerns of Mr. Homer, I think, is this group, we have staffed a couple of Zoom meetings to try to deal with Christopher. I have spoken with the current placement. I have pictures of my client. He is adapting well to his new placement, which I agree with everyone, I think is a temporary situation. But there's not been any outburst or anxiety or anything since he was moved. So that's good because he's 2 or about to be 2. His needs are being met emotionally. He's being fed, as Miss Yeager has reported, as well as Miss DeCosti. I just think we wanted to get this before you as to we need some guidance from you. Permanent managing conservatorship is available, but we've got a case in which none of us want to be on the front page of the local paper if there's something happens to this child. We have a placement that's not been honest throughout the process. We have someone in her home that has at least been accused, it's been alleged, of domestic violence or things that could be harmful to Christopher. So the best I could do, Your Honor, is to get it to you. My recommendation is, at least for now, until everyone can get to the bottom of this, that Christopher stay in his current placement. There, we know that he's safe. His needs are being met. I think it's in his best interest. He's not negatively reacting to the current placement. He's enamored with an older child. He's excited about when she gets off the bus. So he's adapting. So we've got a lot of issues to balance, and we thought we would basically bring it to news. So my bottom record is leave him where he is currently until we can get to the bottom of this Mr. Homer and what Miss Jackson might be willing to do or what the department has available for her.
Okay, thank you, Miss Elvig. So, Ms. Jackson, this is Judge Stuckey. First, I want to make sure that you do, in fact, want to tell the court something. If you do, I'd like to hear it, and I'll swear you in. If you don't, then just let me know.
No, I would like to speak.
Okay, so Ms. Jackson, if you'll raise your right hand for me so I can give you an oath, please. You swear the testimony you're going to provide in this case is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Okay, so Ms. Jackson, if you can tell us your full name, please. So Ms. Jackson, obviously, Christopher, I'm well aware Christopher was in your home for a long period of time. It does sound like now he's been removed from your home. So I am very interested in what you have to tell me today. So I would like you to, think hard about what it is you want to say, and then speak, please, slowly and clearly, so I have the best opportunity to hear, what you want me to know in making decisions for Christopher today. Can you do that for me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Ms. Jackson, what would you like me to know about Christopher?
First of all, I would like to say that I am deeply, deeply sorry for how everything transpired, how everything happened. I am so sorry. And the whole thing with my husband is we are separated. We were separated. I don't have his last name. We don't have any financial things together. This is my house. My name is only on it. My cars, vehicles, everything. So we're actually really separated. The thought came to try to work things out, but there's a whole different other story. It started, the whole situation started, and I should have trusted my faith enough to know that Samantha and them would help me. And I did. When Christopher was first born, I took over him when he was a week old. And the entire time I stayed with him, and because he was going through withdrawal, I'm a nurse. So I stayed with him. I stayed out of work and everything to, make sure he went through, the withdrawals and everything will be okay. And in that time, then I got ready to go back to work. I asked Samantha for NCI, but they kept going back and forth telling me that I have to have at least 40 hours, a pay period to work. But I couldn't get a job because I didn't have a sitter. So I lost
Sure.
2 jobs waiting for them to approve that, a signal for that. So then I come back around again. They told me they switched caseworkers on me at the agency, and they told me, well, my son had to be qualified or something, but they never said anything about this when I had Janice and Jonah. And I had Jonah since he was 1, and Janice since she was 4 months. So they told me that I
Okay,
could.
so Miss Jackson, let's put the daycare aside for a minute because I do have the authority to order daycare in this case. So I if you'll just tell me what impact, if any, not having daycare, if that led to any different decisions you made. But as far as daycare, if that's something that's necessary in this case, I could take care of that today. If I see
Well,
fit to returning.
right, it was, but I got my hours changed because it was a new job. I couldn't just demand it. I got my hours changed from 6 to 2, where I can pick him up and drop him off, and Monday through Friday, where I will be at home with them on the weekend, so I wouldn't need no extra help. Besides that, the more thing that I'm more so concerned about, y'all, is that I just want to keep them together. If you decide, to not to return it, I mean, just keep them together, because I have personal experience of having a sibling not there with us growing up. So I just want to keep them together. I would love for them to be with me, but by all means, if they feel like he's not safe, they're only doing their job. Don't separate the
Okay.
kids because of my stupid mistake.
All right, Miss Jackson, I want you to breathe a little bit, okay? Because it's really important I'll be able to hear you. So let's take a break for a second.
When I reached back out to the agency about because they told me that Jamari, which is my son, couldn't watch Christopher. I asked them for, respite or somebody until he can take the classes that he needed for them. And in the meantime, instead of them helping me, she sent me a text, and I have all this information saying that if I didn't want to keep Christopher, to sign over a 30-day notice. And so instead of helping me, she scared me. Because I thought, okay, well, if they want me to give them up, then I'm gonna have to figure this out until I can change the schedule. We sat down and we went over a plan.
Okay. Slow down, Miss Jackson. Slow down. I know you're excited and you have a lot to say, but I want to make sure that everybody can hear you as well as myself. And I'm making notes of all the stuff, if not in my head, on paper. So just slow down a little bit for me, okay?
Yes, sir. When I reached out to the agency to help with finding somebody to watch Christopher while I go to work until we can finish the paperwork that they said my son needed to do before he can step back up and start helping with Christopher. They she my caseworker, she just simply said, if you don't want to no longer have Christopher in your custody, just put a 30-day notice letter in stating that. So instead of addressing the issue to help them find somebody until they got their paperwork, she told me to literally just sign a paper and get him up. And I wasn't willing to do that either. So they came out the next day, and instead of us taking the test and doing it before he can become it, they gave us all the answers and just told us to sign our name, and they would put the date on there. So what hurts me more than anything is that they punished me for not following the rules, but they wasn't following the rules for the last 4 years. I mean, everything with the CPR, everything you can name, your honor, they pretty much they did it. The man that came out to do my fire detectors, fires, things, it was all just, somebody they paid they didn't really come in and check all that. They didn't do that. The gas people, they didn't really, they had one designated person that they used that just came out the door. So, I mean, I'm not trying to say they were wrong. I'm taking this blame on myself. I should have trusted my faith and trusted Samantha, you know, to come to her and say, this is what I was going through. But I was already scared. So it forced me to make decisions that I wouldn't have made had I just sat down and thought about it. Christopher, Janice, and Jonah are a big part of my life now. I mean, I'm 47 years old and I'm starting over. And at first it sounded crazy, but I done got so attached to them that it's not. So whatever you need me to do right now, I would do it. I would do it. Whatever you need me to do, I would do it. I
So,
just
Miss
want
Jackson, who's currently residing in your home right now?
my son, Jamari.
And
And
how
Janice,
long has he lived there?
how long has he been here? He's my
Yeah.
son. He's
Okay.
been here. He's been with me ever since he was born. He
And
has,
how old is he?
he's 24.
Okay. And when was Mr. Homer, your husband, last in your home?
He was last in my home 2 or 3 days ago. And all he did was just stop by because he was concerned too about Chris.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, Miss Jackson. It sounds like there's a lot going on, and I'm going to consider it. But I'm not going to lie to you. I don't like dishonest people. Okay, especially when it comes to child safety. And so when you've got people in your home that you say weren't supposed to be there, and you're not in relationship with, CPS comes and then they themselves lie about who they are and try to mislead people as to who they are, what their identity is. It just doesn't look very good. And even when confronted, it sounds like y'all still didn't come clean. So what assurances can you give me that if I was to return Christopher to your home, that it would be any different, that we could trust you at this point to be honest with you about who lived there, who your frequent visitors were, and to know that Mr. Homer is never going to step foot on your property again as long as Christopher's there?
Yes, sir. My insurance, I would do anything. I mean, have people just let anybody pop up at any hour or anything, just to check up on me. But I would do anything, Your Honor, anything.
Well, what's that anything? It's not what I want you to do. It's what you need, in your own heart, Miss Jackson, what's right and what you would need to do for Christopher. So, I mean, are you going to let Mr. Homer back on your property? I mean, is he coming back?
No, I won't. I won't. You have my word. I won't.
I mean, and here's something else that you need to consider right now. He's 2, right? Christopher's 2 or almost 2. And as long as Mr. Homer is a frequent visitor to your home, and that kind of has a kind of a definition like in child placement agency, like CPA language, right? As long as he's a frequent visitor to your home, you cannot ever adopt Christopher. Do you understand that? Ever. And that's not my rule. That's their rule, right? That's a state rule.
Yes.
That the state has to go by, child placement agencies have to abide by. And so the only thing, if Mr. Homer was to ever just come by, the best you could ever have would be managing conservatorship of him, but that would mean that there's most likely no financial benefit, that you could have with Christopher to help you, raise him. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. And I will file for divorce if that's what it takes.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, Miss Jackson. I hear that and I appreciate that, but in my mind, I mean, would a divorce make it cleaner? Yes, but what I need you to understand today is that it's not about what you do and you tell people. It's about what you do. Like you actually have to keep people away and keep Christopher safe. Like you could get a divorce from him, but you can allow him to live with you. That's why a divorce in reality, I mean, it's okay. It's a step, right? But it's not the end all be all of keeping Christopher safe. So it's really about your actions. And as long as your actions keep Christopher safe, that's what we need. If they don't, and you're going to be, put potentially dangerous people around him and be deceptive with the people who are out here with the responsibility of keeping him safe, then he's not coming back to your home. So what I need to know is that you are committed to keeping him safe and thinking about him first, not
Yes.
yourself, not your son, not anybody.
Yes,
That
sir.
Christopher, like all your decisions are about what's in Christopher's best interest. And then you get to, everybody else. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. I do. Please. Please just give me another chance. I promise I would not disappoint any of y'all. I know I lost all y'all's trust, but just please give me a chance.
So, Miss Yeager, tell me, the department knows about Miss Jackson's son. Is that right?
Yes, sir. He's a very fine, polite, well-mannered young man that seems to be very responsible for his age. And he's very bonded to the kids. He doesn't hesitate to change a diaper or anything. He laughs and says it's good birth control. And he likes them as younger siblings, but no desire to have his own anytime soon. He's a very polite young man.
Okay, thank you, Miss Yeager. So, Miss Jackson, do you need daycare at this point? What can we do to help, provide stability for you and Christopher if I put him back in your home? Would you need daycare?
Yes, daycare.
And is there a daycare in your area?
Yes, he was in a good daycare.
Do you know if he lost his spot?
I actually haven't said anything to them, so but I can find out, which I don't think he did because he hasn't been home, but going on the second week. Actually,
Okay.
1 week because it was last Wednesday.
Okay, so Ms. Elvig, after hearing Ms. Jackson's testimony, do you feel any differently at this point, or you still feel the same that we need to at least wait a little while to further investigate?
I'm conflicted because we're 2 years down the road, Your Honor, with a young child that we can't just we can't balance Christopher around. I think that there are some serious concerns about veracity here. I would think that if you do consider placing him back with Miss Jackson, he needs to be prepared for some unannounced surprise visits. The department needs to stay on that, as well as CASA. But at 2, I'm just concerned. He has been with Miss Jackson. He's really well bonded with that family. If you do that, I would just like to see both the department and CASA do some unannounced surprise visits to confirm that Mr. Homer is truly gone and not a part of this.
Okay, well, obviously the department, acted, I believe they acted reasonably. I think they've been going in that home all the time, and I don't, know Mr. Homer. I don't think Mr. Homer was there probably for a while. He may have been there recently, and unfortunately, Miss Jackson was deceptive about his presence. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to order Christopher return back to the home of Miss Jackson. Today is Monday.
Thank you.
So I'm going to give the department about 2 to 3 days to put that into place. And the idea behind that, Ms. Yeager, is so that you can get everything kind of lined up, make sure that you have all the information that you need. And Ms. Jackson, I want you to know that everybody wants what's best for Christopher, but if this falls through, the person that's going to get burned the most by this is me. Okay, and Ms. Jackson, I will make you a promise today. If Mr. Homer steps foot on your property again and you let him in that home and Christopher's at home, you will not see Christopher in your home again. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, son, that thing, you can lie to me once, but if you lie to me a second time, you're done.
No, sir. No, sir. I want to say thank you to everybody for giving me a second chance.
Well, they're not giving you a second chance, Ms. Jackson. I'm giving you a second chance.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Everybody else is doing what they're supposed to do, and that's to protect Christopher. I'm the one giving you a second chance. And as I said, if it goes bad, it goes bad for everybody, but it really goes bad for me.
Yes,
So
sir.
make sure that, you know, you do what is best for Christopher and keep him safe. Additionally, I am going to order the Department of Family and Protective Services to pay for daycare for Christopher in the event that it is not paid for by other state funds.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Jackson, something else you need to know is that Ms. Yeager, other people from the department, Ms. Elvig, Casa, they're all going to come. And they're going to come to your house, sometimes announced, which I will say is scheduled. And then sometimes they're going to come up and it's going to be a surprise. And they're going to want to see you in your house, or want to make sure nobody's hiding in the closets or under the beds and all those good places. Okay. And it's not that they don't like you, Miss Jackson. It's that they're doing their job.
Yeah.
Their job is to keep Christopher safe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. With that being said, Ms. Jacobs, if you'll give us a review hearing in about 45 days, please. Let me see when our next hearing is.
It's in May.
May, let's see. Okay, we're just going to keep that hearing date. And if there's a need to come back for then, the parties can let me know and we will get you back on the docket. Okay, so with that being said, again, the department has ordered to place Christopher back in the home of Ms. Jackson within 3 days. Our next hearing in this case is on May 22nd, 2023 at 10 a.m. Again, May 22nd, 2023 at 10 a.m. Any other issues that we need to take up today, Ms. Hoyle, Ms. Elvig, or any questions about the court's orders?
None here. Thank you, Your Honor.
None. And we'll get those orders as soon as we can.
Okay. All right, Ms. Jackson, make sure you stay in contact with everybody and remember that, you can reach out for help. I mean, the department right now, Ms. Elvig, Casa, everybody is a part of your support network. Obviously, we want you to develop your own support network, but if you have problems, you need to let people know. And we cannot help, or they cannot help if they don't know that there's an issue.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you have to believe that today, after all these bad things happen, and that I, as the judge, am willing to put him back in your house, I'm in it for the long haul with you too. So if you need help, reach out to somebody, because I can tell you if it goes bad again, that's it.
No.
And I understand, and part of my decision today is I know how traumatic it is for Christopher to be removed from your home and to potentially not be able to go back.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's part of my decision, is that he basically knows no one else other than you over the last almost 2 years.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, everybody. We'll see you back for our next hearing on May 22nd, 2023 at 10 a.m. So we'll see you on that day. Thank you. You may be
Thank you,
excused to
Judge.
that
Thank you,
time.
Your Honor.